Hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. Welcome to another episode of Congratulations to Dr. Cornel West, 47th. Congratulations, 47th President of the United States, Dr. Cornel West. I am Tracy. You can see I'm joined by Robin for the 18,453rd
Come
time,
on.
but that's okay.
It
We're going
just
to do this
seems
show
that way.
anyway. First, I want to remind everybody to like this podcast, share it, comment. I'm looking forward to your comments tonight. We're going to take an interesting turn, um, get some bills paid here, and then we will get started. Remember to visit the website www.cornelwest2024.com. That's where you can learn how to volunteer. It is still not too late to volunteer. You can learn about the platform. You can learn about Dr. West. And the merchandise store is back. So you can now buy merchandise. I can finally buy another t-shirt besides that green one that I have. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The merchandise store is back. That is at shop.cornelwest2024.com, and you see the rest of the address there, but you'll see it by going to the main website. Okay, so attention all to the ladies in the audience, to our ladies watching. There will be a virtual slumber party October the 19th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tickets start at just $5. You can definitely go all the way up to $3,300, but we're trying to get some of you all to register. But definitely make sure you buy tickets. That I have a whole lot. It's sponsored by me on behalf of the campaign. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. I'll be putting up that address throughout the show like I do other times. But please come to that. This will be probably the last fundraiser I do this year, and then next year I got a special announcement at the end of the show. So let's get started.
I had a lot of fun at the last slumber party.
That wasn't a slumber party. That was trivia.
It wasn't a slumber party. Oh, that was a party. That was This is pajamas, and we're going to.
This is a pajama slumber party for our female supporters of Dr. West. We nobody in what about the men? I don't know what the men are doing. I have no idea. I just know that the ladies are having a slumber party October the 19th, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and tickets start at $5. That's all I know. So don't come in here coming after me, telling me, well, what about if you're male and you want to host a slumber, I don't know if men have slumber parties, but a bros event, good. But no, last one was not a slumber party. Last one was a what do you know about Dr. West trivia game?
Oh, okay.
Yep. So this one will be for ladies only. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have a lot of fun. I've got a whole bunch of things planned. And I'll talk a little bit more about it as I move closer to the event. But got to start with some thoughts I have. Now, since Robin has been on this show 18,422 times, I'm not going to go through the 5 questions. I usually ask our guests, hey, here's the 5 dumbest, stupidest things I've ever heard about Dr. West.
It has been a while, though.
It has been a while, but I might mix them in this way. So, Facebook can be a dangerous thing, right? It's good to connect to people on Facebook, and it's good to see what everybody's up to, what they're doing. However, when it comes to politics and people's rationale voting for the Harris ticket, and maybe you can explain this to me. I'm not quite understanding how so many people got comfortable for supporting genocide. Like, I don't know where it's coming from. I'm like, well, wait a minute. She supports genocide, right?
I could barely get anybody to even say the word or to even talk about Israel or Palestine or anything. It's they're into their kind of fake wokeness right now, which I've been on.
I just, it's so, and like, well, wait a minute. So, and I think it's this too. It's like if Trump were doing the exact same thing, and I'm talking about literally the same thing, the people who are saying, hey, you got to vote for Harris would be doing the same type of protest we are.
Exactly.
They would be doing exact. So, right. They would be in the streets protesting. And that's what I said that, this may be, if Trump does win, yeah, and I'm going to say, I'll say it again. If you vote for Harris, you vote for genocide. Don't care. You don't have to like me. I'm not here for you to like me. I don't care. I'm going to stand on what I stand on.
I mean, it's a fact.
Oh, no, it's not. Because I shouldn't have said that. That's an asinine comment. Really? Really? So it takes one to know one, I guess. Because you're just okay with it. Because apparently, genocide is my red line.
Yes.
Racism is my red line.
It's funny, when we first started discussing Cornel West's candidacy, he had this amazing platform. And he still does have an amazing platform. But we were going through everything. Everything was equally important, and it is. But genocide has become, it's that red line. It's that we have to vote against both parties, because both parties will be for Israeli genocide of Palestinians.
And let's not forget about Congo and the Sudan.
And Congo and the Sudan, yes.
Yeah,
it's true, and it's often forgotten.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, well, wait a minute. You're telling me you're against genocide? Because that's what you're telling me, right? Because I'm going based off, y'all got to follow me on Facebook, because I get every time I say the word genocide, it's like it triggers people. I don't know why, because I call them like I see them. When I see genocide, I'm going to call it out. But you're telling me you're against it, but you're going to turn around and vote for a president that says, I'm going to give Israel whatever they need.
Yep.
Make it make sense. I'm like, wait a minute. Explain this to me. Either I'm very stupid or you not making no sense. Because it literally doesn't make sense to me. How can anybody sit and say they're against genocide and then vote for the candidate that supports genocide? It's like, what?
That's her talking point for her donors and her billionaire donors and AIPAC. And then they have a campaign put out for most of their voters to put on social media that is joyful, and
joyfully bombing 40,000 children. I don't get joy out of 40,000 children dead.
I don't. It's almost. I hate to use the word Orwellian, but it's Orwellian. The silence is Orwellian.
And especially when you call it out, I'm like, make it make sense. I've heard everything from, why are you so concerned about Palestinians and they don't care about you? Really, you gonna go with that? I'm like, they're God's children. They're human beings. They deserve to live.
Oh,
what we're doing is illegal.
All human life is precious.
Exactly. Don't make that point on my Facebook page, because you follow me on Facebook, so you know the idiocy that I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, you've seen that too, I think.
No, you don't get it worse. I get it worse, because I'm getting it from black people. Yeah, I'm calling out black people that support Harris. I don't understand you. I literally don't understand you. You keep voting Democrat. What, they haven't done any, and I mean any, and I'm going to say it one more time, anything for black people since what? The voters' rights of 1965? I can't name one. And I'm sitting here like, well, wait a minute.
No,
Maybe
no.
I'm
In
forgetting.
fact, no.
I'm
In fact, it's been the opposite.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just sitting
and
here
the
like, well,
opposite.
wait a minute. Maybe they
Kids are
did
in the
something
house.
and like I forgot it.
There's a lot of like I said, talking points. They're really, really good at rhetoric. They're really good at it. They also co-opt movements. You know?
Oh, they do that really well. Green
Yeah, they
New
do.
Deal, best example.
Yeah, Green New Deal. They co-opted Black Lives Matter, Me Too, Time's Up. You know, and then it's like we can't say anything against this administration because we're a 501c or
Yeah,
something
that
like
one time she went to protest at a union march. Ooh, well, that makes up for the 40,000. I mean, it's like no matter what. Oh, Robin, help us! Because, like, I'm trying to make the case, and I'm like, look at what you've gotten with the two-party system so far. When you've got nothing, but you keep voting for them. Why? Why are you voting against your own best interests?
they used to be the lesser evil party. Um, that is not the case anymore.
Oh no, they're just straight evil.
They've definitely trumped Trump on, by being the party of genocide. There's there they come out with this rhetoric every election. I don't understand why people don't understand that they never follow through, and they won't because their donors won't let them. The people that own them won't
Now,
let
see, we can make this point, um, but people don't want to listen. I think, people say, "Oh, I'm independent, but I mostly vote Democrat." Well, guess what? You are. You're a Democrat. You're
them.
a Democrat. You are a Democrat. I vote independent. I haven't voted for a Democrat in so long. I'm literally like the last time was 19 some some
Oh, you're
some
good.
some huh it it's like people know, and this is what frustrates me. And I know I'm going to talk a lot about the black community because look at me. I mean, I'm going to talk about the folks that look like me, that criticize me. I'm like, without us the Democrats can't win, period. I don't care what people say. They can go and get white suburban women all they want. If they don't get black people to vote for them, they're not winning, period.
To tell you the truth, if people understood that if the anti-genocide voters, um, the disenfranchised voters, and the independent voters the socialist voters, if they would all vote for third party, vote for Cornel West, vote for, we can do it. We have more
Absolutely.
people than they do, either party.
And they, you know what they do though? They use that scare tactic. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
what I talked about when I had Cornel West on my show. Thank you and very much.
Okay, I could not find that. I'm
Oh,
so
yes, he was.
sorry. I was
I made
I
a
was
big deal about that. I have the man himself here, and I
you
specifically asked
did.
that good. I
You
know,
did.
right? Like, so nobody asked me that question anymore. I want to hear. Don't anybody. When is he going to be back? Don't you ask that question. I got him on here, but I specifically said, why? What is it going to take for people to stop being scared of scare tactics? Like literally, people are saying, "Well, I would vote third party, but Trump." You so scared of an orange faced toupee wearing man that you're going to tell me you're okay with 40,000 people dying?
Yep.
If you voted, and when we say third party candidate, we are not talking about Jill Stein, Claudia Day LaCruz. We're not talking about none of that. We're only talking about Cornel West, period. That's what's in the title. If you would just simply vote for him and he wins the White House, guarantee he's going to veto every bill that comes up to give Israel more money. Now, could Congress override it? They probably will. But he's taking a stand.
And he has the bully pulpit, and he would use the bully pulpit to shame people in Congress who are pushing that, you know? You know, he would actually, speak to us about the genocide and how,
I love this
Israel.
one when I say genocide needs to stop. There's stuff happening here in America. Yes, mostly caused by the Biden Harris administration. You're absolutely right. Homelessness has increased. People, 61% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck.
They
Fudge unemployment numbers, which have been proven to be a lie. If you think unemployment is 3.8%, I I want to sell you mercury. I will sell it to you for a
yeah,
dollar and
people just
75 cents.
dropped out of their system
The stock market is doing well.
on
Well,
weapon stocks and fossil fuel stocks and anything that supports, the weapons industry. Yeah,
but
it's doing really
it's
well. It's like quadrupled.
and I appreciate the people that are still protesting against what we're doing in Gaza. But
Yes,
with these two clowns, and I called them clowns. I don't care. That's what Harris and Trump are. Two clowns
I
of the
agree.
same coin. Like, what else is it? Because obviously, they're not listening to their electorate. 73% of Americans want this war in Gaza to stop and for us to stop funding it.
Where's their voices? There's maybe a poll about it, but where are their voices? Where are they?
APAC must be like way more influential than I thought. Because I'm like, how do you ignore 73% of Americans? Like, poll after poll after poll after poll shows um, that Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Greens, doesn't matter who you speak to, people want our money to stop supporting these never ending wars. But yet, it's like they are completely, just ignore what the people say. Just vote for me anyway. Yeah, I'm going to support genocide, but you know what? Vote for me anyway because I'll build 3 million houses, which you won't, but.
No, even it's like a trickle down into like state and local politics too, as far as homelessness and how cities are becoming really brutal toward homelessness, homeless residents, and it's Biden-esque, you know.
Instead of solving the core problem, like, gee, I wonder why they're homeless in the first place. Don't solve that problem. Make it illegal for them to sleep on the street. That'll solve it.
Yeah,
Like, wait a minute, what?
and then they favor developers. They use affordable housing but they use it to give benefits to developers rather than and actually don't supply affordable housing.
And then they build apartments that are so, I don't know if this is happening where you live it, but in Indianapolis, I don't see any houses being built. It's all apartments.
It's all apartments and condos, and they're market rate and luxury.
Yes.
Yeah.
How is a homeless person going to afford that? They have, first of all, no job.
Yeah.
Or no, let me backtrack that because there are some people that sleep in their cars to go to their jobs. Let me backtrack that. That's wrong.
Well, actually, cities are now saying that they can't camp, sleep in cars within the city, and they'll take away their stuff if they do and throw it away. The means to survival, and they don't have to provide shelter anymore because of the SCOTUS ruling. Blue cities are doing
Oh
that.
no, but see, that's the Republicans' fault because see, the Republicans they have the governorship. Okay, what does that have to do with the mayor enacting these laws? Because see, the mayor's in charge of the city, the governor's in charge of the state. Those are like the way people defend the idiocy of the Democratic Party is probably the main reason why I will not vote Democrat.
I think the only reason they defend it is because it makes them feel good. If they're comfortable enough, it makes them feel good to hear those words that they put out. Those words, joy, empathy, now it's woke.
I'm
They
gonna
brought back woke.
yeah, here's one I hear, and I'm gonna get to the comments because I see some people in the comments. Well, you have to vote for Harris. You have to vote for Harris because
No.
if you vote for we know we don't have to, but this is what you'll hear. You have to vote for Harris because you could work with her. Really?
She's let us know we can.
This lady literally said to Black Americans' face, "I'm not going to do anything just for Black people." I'm voting for her for what reason again?
Have you read her book that she wrote in 2019, or she had ghost written by her for her?
Yeah, I was gonna say ghost
Yeah,
written by her. No, I don't. I didn't read her book. I
uh-huh.
didn't read Obama's book. I didn't read
She was
Hillary's
all
book.
for like Bernie type policies.
Oh, it did
For
change her mind.
immigration,
Medicare
this
for
and
all.
that. It was like how Obama did before he got elected. Where he made you think that he was a progressive, that he was somebody
And
who
he
was going
never
to help you,
was.
that an activist.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they used Freddie Lou Hamer's image at the DNC convention, I'm like, y'all got to be joking. You did not disrespect Fannie Lou Hamer like that.
That's incredible. I did not see that. That's um,
And again, I'm gonna say this again. Black people, yes, I know Robin's not black, but she gonna be black for this example. Stop it. Stop voting for these fools. They're not going to do. No, this message is literally for everybody that's a voting age. Stop voting for the Democrats and stop voting for the Republicans. They're not going to do anything for you. They don't care about you. They care about corporate money. That's what they care about. That's what their decisions are based off of. They don't care about you. They don't like you. You could lose your job. You think they're going to care? When you're sitting in your car, you have to sleep in your car. They'll tow you away so fast, you'll be like, what happened? They don't want to solve core problems like giving universal basic income that would prevent homelessness. Let's just put people in jail so that the private prison industrial complex can get its money.
yeah. I mean, think about the affordable housing, what they say they're building affordable housing. Affordable housing is actually some minimum wage housing. They need to have homes that are available, housing that's available for people who are working minimum wage jobs. Also they need to lift minimum wage up, but that
Well,
doesn't happen.
we need, first of all, we need a living wage, not a minimum.
Yep.
And when you think about this housing thing that she's talking about, and the trolls, I'm telling you now, you can miss me with the when are you gonna criticize Republicans? You can miss me all day with that.
I don't even pay attention to that.
Miss me, because I know trolls watch this show. They may never comment, but I know they're watching. Trust me and believe, because I get a whole bunch of comments off site. Yeah, miss me, because I don't care. But it's going to be means tested. That's what the government does. They run means tests. They make you go through all of these income requirements and all of these. Of course, there's a fire truck going down. They make you go through income requirements. How many people can live in a house? Where are they going to buy the land at? How are they going to, like, who's going to make sure? There's too many questions. Like I said on my video Tuesday, there's a difference between an idea, build 3 million houses, and a plan.
Yeah.
Harris just has an idea. Yeah, in theory, it'd be great to build 3 million houses, but if you don't work, how are you going to afford the house? Are we talking houses for middle income people, or are we talking about houses that will address the homelessness issue?
Also, I don't believe her.
Oh no! What?
I don't believe
she's not gonna build an Indian house. I mean, come on, really?
This is a vote. Sorry, this is an election promise that will be dismissed. It'll just be forgotten.
I'm still waiting on my $2,000 check. I'm still waiting on it. Like, when am I going to get my $2,000 check? Oh, that one. I got to say this one. This one really literally made me mad about somebody says, well, just, they try. No, they don't try. Think about the railroad strikers when they went on strike and Biden ordered them back to work. Everybody forgets this, and I'm glad that one union didn't support Harris. I'm like, yes, that's what you do. Don't support him.
Yeah, it's sorry. I can't imagine how anybody can support this party, considering.
Oh, I can. You know how much stupidology I've heard out there? And because pretty much everybody knows I support Cornel West. I'm voting for Cornel West. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. You can argue, you can yell in my face, scream in my face. I don't care. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Well, he's got good ideas, but he can't get anything done. What has Kamala gotten done? Could you name me something that she's gotten done?
Well, she had a chance to break the filibuster, but she didn't. She went with the parliamentarian or something like that. She didn't.
Yeah, I give the Democrats credit. I had no idea what a parliamentarian was. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know it was there. And boom, bam, thank you, Democrats.
They have no power.
Trump actually fired his.
Power. She could have done it.
Yeah, she could have did what Trump did, fire his, until he got one that agreed with him.
Oh, no, not even that. She could have just done it. The parliamentarians there to suggest they're not elected. They have no power over.
Apparently, she doesn't either, because she sure blamed them. It was the parliamentarian.
Well, yeah,
exactly. And people bought it. Robin, people bought it. They said, "Yup, it's the parliamentarian." What? You just want to live. You just don't want nice things. You can't want nice things. You keep voting the same way. When are you going to say, "Yep"? That's my question, everybody watching. When are you going to say, "I've had enough"?
That you're talking to Democrats.
I'm talking to Republicans and Democrats both. It's like you have to have enough of this. You can't just keep looking at this system and thinking, you know what? That Harris, I like the way she flip-flops on her issues. How she was for Medicare for all, but now she's against it. How her values haven't changed, but pretty much all her policy have. Like those two things aren't tied together.
I don't know. I think she pretty much showed us her values at the DNC. At
the most lethal military.
Yeah.
I'm like, that statement bothered me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out why. And I was like, do we really want to say that?
Yeah.
Do we just really want the industrial? I mean, that
the exact opposite of Cornel West, who wants to dismantle this military industrial complex. He wants to stop the imperialism that we have around the world. And
I'm like, you don't think anybody's gonna get tired of our mess? Like everybody's just gonna sit back and talk about it, like, okay, you guys do what you want. That don't happen.
But look at how the countries all come together to vote against us and Israel, and we still seem to have the most power in it. I don't quite understand that whole thing. That nothing they can do can seem to bring us to stop us. And in the UN, I'm sorry. Did I say UN?
Well, and that goes to American exceptionalism, because most people be like, yeah, look at us. We can do whatever we want. No, you reap what you sow. Yeah, I'm going to say you reap what you sow.
Well, then we're going
to sow a lot. We're on the decline. We are on the decline. I mean, I don't want to say, because I think America is made up of great people. Absolutely, positively. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else because I wouldn't fit in. But we got some problems, y'all. Mm-hmm. And we just keep ignoring them, keep ignoring them, keep ignoring them, keep ignoring them. I'm not saying, some people are like, no foreign aid. Now, I don't believe in that. But here's what I do believe. I believe in no war. I'll help you with medicine. I'll help you with getting doctors. I'll help you with clean water. But I'm not going to send you a 2,000-ton bomb to bomb up hospitals. That's what
Yeah.
I'm not going to do, and that's not what
Unfortunately,
Dr.
that's
West
where our
is going to do.
taxpayer money is going right now.
50 cents of every dollar goes to the military. So if you take your tax dollars and divide it by 2, that's going to the United States military. Now, are the soldiers getting that money? No, they are not. Military contractors are getting that money.
Yeah. You notice when every time there's a war, they say support our troops. And they're starting to already do that now. I was just listening to someone talk, and you're not. Bring them home.
You would be
They don't want
supporting
to be
them
there.
if they aren't. They're there because they want to go to college. Which why
Yeah,
should you have to go to the military to go to college for free? Is beyond me. But that's a whole
exactly.
nother discussion for a whole nother day.
Which may
They're
be why they don't want to bring the minimum wage up or anything or make
free
college
college.
free because they
Oh well,
wouldn't have the
yeah. That's like
volunteers for.
well, military enrollment is down. Yeah, that's another fact y'all want to know. Military enrollment is down. But with these forever words, Netanyahu's already talking about what invading Lebanon
Oh my
and
gosh,
Syria.
they're doing it.
They're doing it now. I'm like, watch. They say that we need. Watch. They say we need troops there. Watch. It's gonna happen. I don't want it to happen. My light keeps going out. I don't want it to happen. But the people who sit here and say the Lindsey Grahams of the world, let's get in a war with China. What did China do to me? They over there minding their own business. I mean, it's like they want to start wars just to start war. They're not going to fight in them. Their children are not going to fight in them. Their grandchildren are not going to fight in them. You know who's going to fight in them? Our children. Our grandchildren. That's who's going to be fighting in them.
And not the children of comfortable or wealthy people.
Oh yeah, wealthy people, they don't go to the military. There's no way they don't go to the military. I mean, and this is what makes, to me, the Cornel West campaign so great that the Green Party copied. Oh, shut up, Tracy. Let me backtrack that. I'm going to backtrack. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to do that today. I said I would behave. I said I would behave. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Behave. When you look at his platform, it's so like this makes perfect sense. How do you read, even if you don't have any clue as to who Dr. Cornel West is, you don't know, you don't want to know, just go to his website, cornelwest2024.com, and read the platform.
The platform is incredible.
It's incredible.
I just posted about his global justice today because it's just, it's amazing.
We need to worry about America. Well, he is worried about America.
We would be safer in the world. Everyone would be safer in the world if there weren't, if we were better neighbors, if we were, not intervening in other people's countries and invading them and exploiting them.
Got the nerve to get mad at somebody else for doing the same thing to us as we doing to everybody else. Oh, miss me. You can miss me with that too. Russia's interfered in the election like the United States has never interfered in any election at any time, at any place, at anywhere. Never happened? Okay, sure, whatever. It's just,
I'm sorry. Part of it is like he states right out of getting of ending military funding to Israel and advocating for Palestinian dignity, and that's one of the other things is to be able to have people go along with this. You have to dehumanize Palestinian people. You have to dehumanize.
There it is, right there.
People or Sudanese people. You have to So, and then, and then he talks about getting rid of debt for countries that are just struggling under debt.
You mean like African countries?
That Haiti, yeah.
Yep. And I'm sorry, my light went out, and I'm trying to figure out what happened to it. Okay,
I
so
mean,
it's just out. Um, it just doesn't even. Hold on a second.
so basically, the whole idea. Oh, sorry. Can I keep going?
Keep going.
The Dr. West comes from the point of saying that human dignity is important. All life is precious. We treat people humanely and with justice here and throughout the world. It's just it's a no-brainer,
It
you
would,
know.
it makes so much sense if somebody uses you and you're in a relationship and they abuse you, they physically abuse you or they verbally abuse you. Hopefully nobody, if you're in that kind of relationship, get out. But it seems, and I don't want to be disrespectful to the people that are going through this type of thing now. But it seems like the people that support out the duopoly, that's where they're at. They see the wrong, they know they're being used, but it's like at the same time they're okay with it because they're willing to tell others to vote for these candidates. And that's what I get. You know they're using you, you know they're wrong. Why would you support them?
When you
Like,
have a
and I keep asking that question because I literally don't. I wish somebody could explain that to me because I don't understand it.
They believe that there's only two choices, and basically there is. You saw how hard it is to get anybody else on the ballot.
Woo,
um,
Chef.
yeah, and it's a fixed system, which means it's undemocratic. It's a pseudo democracy. It's not a democracy. So um, we have to vote to get rid of it, because they don't, like, they don't even care if the other party really wins, because they still have their power. They still get their
Right.
donations. So they just go back and forth between each other because they're both sold out to the
Yeah,
same people.
right. In my lifetime, I've had 4 Republican presidents and
Hmm.
4 Democratic presidents. So it's been either 4 and 4.
Oh,
I can't
really?
name. So it was
Oh,
Nixon,
yeah.
Ford. No, I'm gonna do all the Republicans first. Nixon, Ford, Reagan. No, wait a minute. I've had 5. Nixon, Ford,
Wait, you were a baby then.
Reagan,
Nixon was.
Bush, Father Bush, Son Bush, Trump. So I've had 6 Republican presidents. I've had 4 Democratic presidents: Carter, Clinton, Obama, Biden. Those are
And
easy.
they pretty
What
much.
what was the difference? Like what like every president after Reagan was trash. Like complete trash. Like they're just all variations of Reagan. Obama's black Reagan. Biden's old Reagan. Trump is orange Reagan. But and then like every like this Reagan is really where it
And the
stopped.
thing is, the thing is, the DLC in 1985, the DLC actually took Reagan's policies and as if they were on steroids, and then they installed Clinton, and that they became. They always go back and say, "Oh, Reagan was bad," but they basically took Reagan's policies
Took the
and
whole
ran
thing and
with
said,
them.
okay, let's, and then like, oh well, you have to meet the center because America isn't far left. I beg to differ. 75% of Americans are for universal health care. 67. I mean, we could go issue and issue and issue and issue. America is a leftist country. If you just took away the Democrat Republican label and just looked at the issues, most Americans are pro-choice. Most Americans are pro-life. I'm not pro-life. I'm pro-choice. Most Americans are for gun safety laws. I mean, I could just keep going and keep going and keep going. But yet, you've had. I I literally can't tell the difference between what Harris is saying and Trump is saying. I'm like, there's no difference.
There
What?
isn't any difference when she's speaking, but there is difference in the whatever the social media stuff.
The tone. And these polls, I'm going to talk about these polls. I got you, but I got to get the comments first. Because I got something to say about these polls. And Robin, you could just be like, Tracy, shut up. But I'm going to say what I got to say. But we're going to get to some comments here. Hey, everybody. Shout out to Tracy and Robin from Kiko, Free Thinker Forum. Thank you for watching. Rude by Way MC says, how the heck so many support Holocaust heroes? I keep asking myself the same question. Nelson is in the house. Democrats and Republicans, what are they good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Kiko says the Palestinian question is a multi-pronged issue like many issues. Human life destruction, environmental destruction, which I didn't even think of, and citizens to be killed by the marketplace, publicly traded companies, lobbying, etc. Then Nelson says again, that's why they want to keep us separated. They know that as soon as we focus on one goal, things will begin to change.
I kind of feel that. I feel that there's enough people.
There are. If you just count it.
That are saying enough is enough. I feel like we can do that.
I think we could do it this election. I literally do.
I do.
You know how good it would to wake up and say Cornel West has been elected president. Do you know how much smack I would run against everybody? Oh Lord. I would keep it all the way petty. I know me. I'm petty. I'm like, you remember when you said I could keep it petty. But I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about the Janet Jackson situation.
Oh, I might miss that.
I'll tell you, because I'm Team Janet. I'm Team Janet. I know you know who Janet Jackson is. Don't sit here and tell me you don't. Okay. So she did an interview with The Guardian.
Mm.
And instead of talking about her career, her music, her child, they wanted to bring in politics. And Janet says something to the effect of, I heard that Kamala's father is white. And she's like, well, no, he's Jamaican. And then she says, oh, okay, but I had heard that he's white. And then she said, well, who would you pick between Trump or Harris? And she said, either way. And I'm really, really summarizing this, guys. But she said something to the effect of, it's going to be mayhem no matter which one you vote for, which I actually agree with.
I appreciate her saying that.
And
there are there are white people in Jamaica. I guess we shouldn't just assume. But
could you say that one more time? Because people act like everybody in Jamaica don't look like me. Sorry to tell you that there are white people that were born in Jamaica.
Yeah, it's an English colony. There's a whole bunch of.
It's an English colony, but
it was.
The vote.
Wait! It is. It's still part of the Commonwealth. Yeah.
Yeah.
They call these colonies different things, but they're still colonies. Like Puerto Rico and Guam, they call them territories. They don't have the rights that everybody else has. In Puerto Rico, they took away their SSI, so people are living in just abject poverty. So they are colonies. And they are treated badly like colonies.
Exactly. Well, here comes where I think we can have a good conversation on and why we think that Dr. Cornel West is the best candidate. Vote blue no matter who. Lord help them. Help them.
I don't think I've heard too many people saying that.
Well, just Google search D.L. Hughley, Janet Jackson.
So what kind of response did she get?
She's not responding. She's like, I'm not taking it. She fired her publicist that issued an apology, and she fired the publicist. She was like, you don't speak for me, I speak for me. I was like, yes, Janet, that's right. Stand up on what you say, girl.
Good for her.
Yeah, she fired her publicist for issuing a statement when she's like, I'm not taking my statement back. But vote boo no matter who. Child, they got problems. And they refuse. I know that the DNC is out here paying some people to be their speaking board. They have to be. Because the way some of these podcasts have came after her, I'm like, first of all, just say what you want about the Jackson family. Because I think they're awesome. But say what you want. Janet Jackson is a Black American, period. Period. Point blank. She's a foundational Black American. She's an American descendant of slavery. Say what you want. Don't care. You ain't got to like it. D.L. Hughley not only questioned her plastic surgery, which she didn't say anything about Kamala's appearance, he also took a swipe at her child, who is half Muslim. I'm like, y'all just gonna let this slide like this? So y'all that don't know about it, just go to Google, type in D.L. Hughley, Janet Jackson, and you'll see. Oh, and Roland Martin and Reese Waters. I'm like, dang it. Here's what why it is. Here's what makes me mad about it, because this is what the Democratic Party does. Again, I'm talking as a Black American, as a foundational Black American, as an ADOS. They will see somebody like me who they already know, don't look to her to vote for us. It's not going to happen. They'll send their attack dogs that look exactly like me into our communities to convince them to vote for the Harris ticket, despite them not doing a dang on thing for the Black community.
Exactly.
And it infuriates me. It does. I can't speak to the white experience. I can't. I can't speak to it because, again, look at me. I'm an ADOS. That's what I am. And when you send people that look like me to attack me, that's going to just make me vote for Dr. Cornel West more. That you're not going to talk me out of voting for him. Yes, I have to write his name in. So I've done that for the past few elections. And I'm making a statement. And how dare you send somebody Black to attack Black people for not voting? Just because you're Black does not mean you have to vote for Kamala Harris. You don't have to. There's another Black American that you can vote for that came out of Jim Crow, that came out of Reconstruction, and his name is Dr. Cornel West. Oh, and his running mate, also Black. But I just had to say that because it just bothers me. I'm like, how do they get away? Like, how do we, as alternative party people, say, hey, don't you see what they're doing when they don't seem to want to listen? Yeah. It's like they're just on this.
Sorry.
No,
and then they get the Democratic Party lawyers in there to try to get them off the ballot, third parties off the ballot. And and they're just, so they have to spend all this time appealing, fighting back, and so that they can just get them off the ballot before the election. It's crazy.
But that's fear. You realize that's fear, right?
That is fear, but it's not democracy. It's disenfranchising voters. It's taking away the right to vote.
Well, the undemocratic party has been doing that. I mean, they did it to Ralph Nader. They did it to, I don't know if they did it to Jill Stein, but I know they did it to Ralph Nader.
Oh, they've done it to all the third parties this time. They've just been really going after them, and it takes a lot of money to fight back, and it's really hard to just jump through the hoops to get people on the ballot. I mean,
tell me about it.
Like, what, 100,000, 100 and something thousand?
Texas has to get 145,000.
Wow. And then they're looking at them all to see that they're all.
Oh, they forgot to dot their I. Let me take them off.
Yeah.
They got their zip code wrong. Take them off. Speaking of money, speaking of resources, I told you I was going to come back to this. October 19th, 2024. Ladies only virtual slumber party. Get your tickets now. $5 starting at the prices. We're gonna have some fun. And yes, I'm gonna do a show the same day and then jump right into the slumber party. I'm doing both the same day. Yes.
So I get to wear pajamas?
You get to wear pajamas. I'm probably gonna wear my bonnet. If 10 people come, I'll wear my bonnet. Yes, but
Okay.
you get to wear your
Cocoa?
pajamas.
We'll have cocoa.
But we're gonna have a lot of fun. But you just spoke about money. I'm like, ooh, good time to plug in the slumber party.
Okay.
But it's just, I think it's just a sense of something that Dr. West talked about. I talked about when I had him on my show last Thursday. I'm gonna keep. That's like the highlight of this whole show. That is the highlight to have. I said I was.
Oh my gosh! I'm so happy for you.
At the end, because you know it was like, because you said, well, maybe it'd be nice, and I was like, girl, that is not gonna even happen. Let's stop.
Oh yeah. I'm amazed that you were able to do it. And you just got a hold of these.
It was not me. It was campaign staff that said, "Hey, you've got to be on this show." I'll tell the whole story here at the end, but yeah, when I had him on the show, I talked about this. It's like, and I keep asking the same question, but when you know somebody's doing something wrong, and you see, especially with the genocide thing, because that's the one that just really, it's like I can't even, I'm not a crier, so I'm never going to cry. But it breaks my heart to see dismantled children. It breaks my heart to see schools blown up. And for you to say, yeah, I'm okay with that. Why is that not a cutoff line for you? Why are you okay with voting for some, like, what is it about you that is making you okay with doing this? And I can't put my finger on it, because I'm like, I know you're against this, but like, why are you don't realize that your vote, when you're voting for Harris or Trump, because they both support Israel, that you're
Israel's
saying
right to defend itself from an imprisoned population, a population that they occupy, oppress.
The theory doesn't even make sense.
I mean, and they have the right to defend themselves. That would be like saying South Africa, back when South Africa, you know, had apartheid, you know, it's the white people's right to protect themselves from the people that they're oppressing and putting
they didn't have any weapons. And you know, as people who I talk to all the time want to use the Bible as an excuse. And I'm talking specifically to them now. Y'all do know we live under separation of church and state, right? Like, you can believe it. I believe it. Let's just say the land is theirs. God gave it to them. He said they can rule up. Okay. But we're governed by the Constitution. Did you not know that? Did you not realize that? Or is this in a real head or something? Like, what happened? And people, I just wish everybody could just go to CornelWest2024.com and just look at the site. It is so, I mean, Kamala, I'll say it this way. More people get mad about how her name is pronounced more than the fact that children are being killed.
Absolutely.
Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm just like, wait a minute. You know, it's just, I'm like, huh, what? And then he said the South really missed the memo. People, Jason, thank you for checking in, Jason. People, you know, as a churchgoer, because I do go to church. Yes, I do go to church, Christian church. I hear this so much. I'm like, are y'all serious with this? Y'all real serious? Okay, cool. That's what you believe. Fine. We're governed by the Constitution. Like what? Like did you miss? Like did you just miss like all of United States history when they taught it, or like was you sick that day, or was what was going on in your head? But there's these people that just think we have the right to tell everybody else how to live, and I'm like, ew. But I'm not gonna. That's a whole nother podcast by itself. But make me scratch my head. Ultimately, and I don't want to be dead negative, Tracy. I don't think people want better. I think the people that are tired is growing. I do think that, and that's the only thing that kind of gives me hope.
Yeah, I think that it's growing. But I think people have been kind of conditioned to not expect better, and just to be happy with words, promises.
Here's something my parents taught me: actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't know why you would think it wouldn't. Not you, but I mean, it's just like people are just like, okay, let's just keep going with these. Look, it took us 20 years to get out Afghanistan, while George W. Bush had intel of where Osama bin Laden was and chose to ignore it. We've been in oh shoot, I can't even think of the country we've been in for more than 10. I'm like,
we've intervened in we've covertly intervened in people's governments, coups. Yeah, we've been pretty much a scourge on the world.
We're not a good neighbor.
No,
I mean the whole thing, the whole love your neighbor as yourself thing. We're not doing good at all.
Not at all.
And I'm talking about the institution of America. I'm not talking about American citizens.
America is a wonderful place. It's
people, but it's our government that's like, ooh, this is terrible. And the one, I used to get mad at people who say they don't vote. I kind of understand why they don't now. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take that because I'm going to the polls no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not all the way mad at them because if you just look at, you got one party where a single Republican voted against a $15 minimum wage, and most of Republican voters are poor.
That's kind of incredible.
You have another party that has 8 supposed Democrats. They vote against it, not because it's a terrible idea, but because Bernie Sanders support. You for real, Senator Coons? You for real?
No, they don't vote for it because they're owned. Maybe Bernie Sanders too, but then all of a sudden Bernie Sanders is popular because he's sort of a friend of Biden's and going along with him. One of the first to endorse Biden.
Did it quick. Did it real quick. Yeah. He was like, 2 days. Oh, I was endorsed. I'm like, sell out much?
And then finally 10 months afterwards, he starts talking about, okay, we've got to stop this $20 billion arms shipment after we've already given them 50 tons.
You're a little late, aren't you? A little late to that game, aren't you?
Yeah, and he still can't say genocide. He cannot say it.
Wait a minute, this is a good point, Jason. I didn't even think about this. The U.S. has been involved in something like 150 regime changes across the world since 1950.
Oh.
150. That's that. Like 30 a year. Like if you take 150 and divide, how many years between 2024 and 1950?
Pretty much every country in South America.
We have screwed over every single country on Earth. If you sit there, because there's 167 countries.
They probably did more than one time in one country too, right?
Yeah, because he's saying there's been regimes since
Yeah,
1950. So if you were born, wait a minute, hold on, because I'm gonna get this one. Wait a minute, let me get my calculator out because I can't subtract. I'm gonna leave that up there because I think Jason's got a good point here.
Yeah, actually.
Because I'm like, okay, so here it is. So you're gonna take 2024 and minus 1950. That's 74 years. 74 years. If you were born in 1950, you are 74 years old.
Yeah. Well, you know what they were doing after World War II? They were going after what they believed were left or socialist. They had the communists there, so they were going after any country.
Yep, that's 2 per year. Yep, if you take that 74 divided by 150, that's 2 per year. Per year.
Media doesn't always, mainstream media doesn't always report on them, like what was happening in Ecuador when we got involved in their elections, caused a coup. Yeah, Haiti. Oh my gosh, yeah. And Haiti has been paying for its independence ever since it left. After it threw off the French yoke, they put economic taxes on it, sanctions. They're still paying them off. They said they had to pay for
freedom. How you go?
Freedom. They had to pay for the freedom. U.S. didn't pay for their freedom. They threw the English off, and that was it. And over taxation for mostly wealthy people. I mean,
like I said, this is a. Wait a minute. Here's another good point. If anyone looks at the candidate with respect of policy and best prepared to push forward for the people, Cornel West is the best candidate we have. We need to vote for the best and forget the rest. Absolutely. He literally is the best candidate. I don't care who stole his platform, Jill Stein. But yeah,
actually, she has
lifted the whole thing.
More ballots, though.
That's because they have what? More money.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of money.
Okay, but I would like this. I would like the socialists. I would love to see them all come together somehow, so we could get all voters voting against the Democratic Party. I don't know how that would happen, but
I don't think it will.
What?
I don't think what you just said is going to happen. And I don't know if it should happen. And here's why I think it shouldn't happen. Right? There's a difference between me and a libertarian. Like, we may agree, and I'm using the Libertarian Party because they tend to be more right. Yeah, like, we're both against wars, and we're both against the prison industrial complex and the military industrial complex. But therefore, like, restricting the social safety net, whereas I'm more like, hey, let's open up the social safety net. I can't see me, like, I could work with them on, like, we could work together on certain issues, but I don't know about the whole, let's form a big party. Because I look at other countries got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parties. And people are not confused. They're not a bit confused. They're like, okay, I'm voting for this person. Okay, got it.
I wasn't thinking libertarian, but to tell you the truth, libertarians do want to get out of conflicts, wars.
They do. That's where I can work on.
And right now, we need to stop the bleeding. No, I was thinking of the Greens and the socialists.
Well, I'm going to keep my opinion to myself for my Tuesday podcast that's coming up because I got a whole lot of opinions about why I think that's the case. But no, I'm for more parties. I'm not for restricting. Get more on the ballot. You know why? Because, again, England, Scotland, Ireland, Australia, Germany, they all have like more than 5 parties on the ballot. Nobody gets confused.
But this right now is urgent. We need to stop this genocide. And
I
we
agree
can't
with
just
you.
get a few people in Congress. We need to stop the genocide right now.
Absolutely. But there's only how many days until November 5th? Like 40 something something. Yeah, I know I love Dr. West, right? And you see what
Yep.
my show is called. However, if one of these two nitwits are elected, we know it's not going to stop.
No. It's going to, they're
When
going to be emboldened. They're going to continue. Yeah.
when
They,
Dr. West wins office, yep, I said what I said.
mm-hmm.
Yes, he could say, you know what, no more money. But you know Congress is going to override him because APEC's in their pocket. So while I agree with what you're saying in theory,
It's
like
theory.
in theory, you're exactly right. But I'm like, well, the ultimate, I'm thinking more long term. I'm thinking 6 months down the road, 9 months down the road, 10 months. I'm
Yeah.
not thinking four. I'm going down there because, like I said, you
It's
only have
true.
a few days left. You know, that type
This,
of conversation should have been like 2 years ago. But of
this
course,
is a,
nobody knew that October 7th was going to happen either.
this is a movement. And,
And
yeah.
that's what Dr. West talked about.
Mhm.
A moment and a movement. And a movement does
Exactly.
not stop on election day. It's got to keep continuing. And we've got to keep in the streets. Now, will they stop taking $5 million of APEC money? Harris or Trump taking $90 million from Adelson?
She got 20 million in dark money, which means we don't even know where it came from right after
Don't have to.
the
Now, let's just say that Dr. West had no morals, i.e., when they tried to crucify him for taking that money from Crowland Howe or whatever his name is. I still contend he should have kept that money, told y'all to kiss his black behind, but that's just me, and I didn't even bring it up because I'm like, it's $3,300. What you really, what, that's not going to even go around the street. That's not going to go down town. And
Yeah,
it's,
think about it, that they're going after Cornel West for one check, one measly check, and they are taking so much
oh,
dark
it
money,
looks
so
bad.
much.
No, if you racist white person want to get pro-black me money, okay, that's TRACY space CARSON comma for president. Oh well, it's not like he's sitting here like, yeah, I'm for it. I mean, if you think about the criticisms that Dr. West has gotten, he's a whole lot better than me. Because, see, they criticized him for that. They criticized him for extending condolences to the Russian spy that died in jail. They criticized him for criticizing the group. Like, he could not catch a break during this election cycle.
Yet,
And
yet they
that's
somehow forgot his entire history, his
just
entire
forgot it.
record
Didn't
of
matter.
working for poor people, of being an activist, of being, they've forgotten all
No,
that. They don't,
here's the one I heard. He betrayed the Democratic Party. Could have just worked within it. Really?
really?
He tried that mess with Obama, and look how it worked. Look how that worked out.
Yeah. He
It's
was
like
one of
they
the,
just first people. That's where I heard of Dr. Cornel West from.
yeah. He was one
And
of the first people to call out Obama's policies about um, after the bailing out big banks and basically throwing homeowners under the bus. Um, you know, yeah, and then also the continued drone strikes and the continued support of Israel.
Israel has a point of contention for you that I thought of, but I didn't say. You can't stop the genocide with the hope that the Green Party gets in when they fail to many times, even in balance in 48 states. We need to get behind truth and justice for all. See, I was going to say that. But See, Nelson be like a whole lot smarter than me. He can put it in words where I'm just like, I just sometimes operate off of emotion.
I hear you.
Because, like he said, it's a moment in a movement, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't stop on November 5th. It keeps going.
It's true.
Because
It's
if
true.
we just give up and stop on November 5th, that means the Democrats win, and I'm not gonna let them. Period. That's just not what I'm gonna let happen. If I can do something about it, I will. And with that, I want to say happy 1 year birthday to this podcast. This podcast came on the third Saturday in September of 2023. I started out just,
congratulations.
thank you, by my little old lonesome self.
Yeah.
And what this has grown to
Mm-hmm.
is nothing less than spectacular. I've had the privilege of talking to Dr. West supporters all across the nation. You're in Washington, D.C. I've talked to people in Maryland. I've talked to people in Mississippi. I've talked to people in Colorado. I've talked to people in Texas. I've talked to people right here in the great state of Indiana. I've talked to literally somebody that's not from the same state that I'm from. And it does my heart good to know that I'm not by myself.
That is what the show, that was the strength of this show. It was amazing to see people, Cornel supporters speaking from every state. I loved how you did that. That took a lot.
And it takes a lot of planning, and sometimes people don't quite show up and keep their schedules. That's okay. But when I got to go solo, I will go solo. I'll make up something. It doesn't matter. So Jason says, congrats, Tracy, you boss. Thank you. Way to go, Tracy. Congratulations, lady. But this is not the end of the podcast. And this is what I've been kind of waiting on. So a lot of you, when Dr. West was on my show, I decided to take an instant poll. And I said, hey, if you want this podcast to continue in some type of form after the election, type in number 1. Now, it didn't help that Dr. West said, type 1. That didn't help. But a lot of people typed in number 1. So this podcast, with probably a different title, will continue on. We will then be kind of shifting our focus to more of the justice for all mode. And how that will look will be a little bit different from the way this show looks. And so you'll hear more details about it, like a little bit after Election Day. I'm kind of waiting to tell everybody what my thoughts are. But just know this. I never would have thought this was where this show would have gone. It's been just a joy to just talk to people and just be heard. Have them tell why they support Dr. West. Not just me. I don't know of any other podcast. I don't see a congratulations to Kamala Harris, the 47. I don't see it. Maybe it's out there. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see a podcast. Congratulations to Jill Stein for herself. I don't see. I ain't never seen it. This is the only podcast that I know that said, you know what? We gonna try to get Dr. West elected. That's our goal and that's our mission. And like I said, it's just been a great, great ride to talk to so many people.
It has. It has. Thank you for giving us this.
After November 5th, this shows just what the solution looks like. Electoral politics is the gateway that has been compromised. Now we organize together outside of it. That's what this show will be. Well, I'll talk about that after the election. Like I said, I just wanted to thank everybody. And cherry on the top of the icing on the cake to have Dr. West himself come in was just like the biggest surprise that I thought I would. Literally, I think you said, well, it'd be great if he come on. And I was like, Robin, stop. He's not going to stop it. Don't get your hopes up. Suck it up, Buttercup. He's not coming on this show. It's not going to happen. Stop wishing for it. And boom, bam, Thursday, he's right on the show. And I can't say enough to everybody that's supportive, but don't stop supporting.
So how did it feel?
It felt weird because I'm sitting there like, yeah. And then what happened was, but
did you do? Oh, I still have to see it because I was looking for it. I somehow couldn't find it, so I'll check it out as soon as I get out of here. Did you ask him the 5 questions?
I did. I absolutely did. I was like, you know what? People say a vote for you is a vote for Trump. Let's go. I did. I knew if I ever, I think it was Gerald said, well, what if you actually interview him? I'm like, I'm asking the same 5 questions. Now, some of them I changed up a little bit because it wouldn't be like I normally start asking people, well, why are you voting for Dr. West? Of course, I changed that question. It wouldn't make sense to say support. He is Dr. West. So I'm like, well, why are you running? But it felt surreal. I'm like, oh, I'm talking to you. I've had this show for a year. I didn't think this was going to happen. The chances of me thinking it was going to happen. Even my sister said, and I'm like, girl, look, he's not going to be on the show. Stop it. Don't bring it up anymore. Like, I was getting to the point, I was getting mad when people would say it. And now I can't. You all won because if it wasn't for people consistently coming in and saying, hey, this is a great podcast, I don't think he would have came. I loved it when Dr. Cornel West was on your show. He heard how much we are behind him. He leaned into the camera and said what he said, we are in it together. And
so what can we do now to this last 40 something days to make sure he's
do what I've been trying to do is put him on my social media.
Okay.
Because unlike Washington State, where he's actually on the ballot.
He is on the ballot?
He's not in the ballot on Indiana. And when you're not on the ballot, it makes it harder. Wait a minute. I got to show this one. Toby is hello. Tracy, in my opinion, it was the best interview I've ever seen with Dr. West. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because I did ask a couple of hard questions because I'm like, well, you sitting here, so I got to ask them. But I think it's going to be using social media because we only have, I think Dr. West mentioned that too, that the campaign has only raised $1.8 million and the entire time he's been in the race. So money is something we ain't got.
Money needs to come in.
Speaking of money, ladies, every time you say the word money, I'm going to go right back to it. If you were a female or you know of a female that supports Dr. West, be at our virtual slumber party. Yes, I'm going to keep talking about it. Yes, I'm going to be talking about it because I'm hosting it. There's the link. Robin, you're on my email list, so you should already have the invitation.
Okay, yeah, I do.
But
we need to get people to, he needs more money right now.
Now, yes.
That's October 19th. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
More money, campaign calling.
Phone banking.
Jeff, social media, getting out there. Thank you. I needed this show to. I was kind of feeling defeated a bit.
I don't know why he's on the ballot in your state. I'm the one that should be like, well, he got a write-in candidate.
There was so many it was so difficult to even get 1,000 signatures. They had so many hoops for us to jump through to be
But
able
you
to
jumped through them.
Yeah, we did.
Now you take that number and multiply it by 37 to add 36,000 votes signatures.
But I thought like, oh, we're gonna do this like in one weekend, but it's like you can't leave this one area. It was
No,
so
the
many.
system is set up that way, but people will swear up and down. They're not scared. Of course they're scared. Why do you think they set up these rules in the way that they did?
There's one thing I learned while I was out there getting signatures. People would say, I have a felony conviction. I can't vote. That's not true. Actually, in a lot of states you can, including Washington State, and people don't know that. And, it's like, oh, I can't sign it. I could have gotten so many signatures of people if I didn't even know that. But I had to learn.
Yep, and
but
so
it's true.
absolutely.
So don't let them disenfranchise you. Get
right.
out and vote.
And if you live in a write-in state, because I live in a write-in state, still write them in, because that takes more effort. Anybody can go find them on a ballot, be like, oh, yep, there you go. That's the way I wish it would have gone in Indiana. But again, we knew what we were up against.
Spell his name correctly.
Yes, it's Corne, 1L.
One L.
Don't put two. Don't you put two. Put one, because they will look for anything to throw out at sick. Any little. Oh, you made that E look funny. Oh, I gotta throw it away. Can't blow count. And that's why it's better to get them on the ballot. But then when you don't, you have to look at it other ways. But you're right. The campaign needs money now, right now. Now, of course, if you don't have the money, always take care of yourself. Do not spend your light money, your bill money, your food money. Don't do that. If you don't got it to spare, you just don't have it to spare. But
just be loud. Just be loud.
Exactly. If you have social media, just type Cornel West for president on your social media. That you can do. We can all do that. But I just want to encourage people. I was going to just fold up this whole thing, and I kept thinking about what Dr. West said in terms of this is a moment and a movement. Why stop? If I stop this type of podcast, that means they win.
So if Kamala and Trump do get in, we continue fighting.
We absolutely. And stronger. Even when Dr. West gets in, we still did remind him, hey, remember when you said da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Because see, I look at it from both ends. But we never stop. We never surrender. We never give up. Because the stakes are too high. So, I said I was going to talk about this in the next couple of weeks, but I'll briefly talk about it and then we'll head out. Will be this podcast again. I will probably have some type of contest to see what do we rename the podcast, because it's going to kind of be silly to call it 47 President of the United States if somehow Dr. West loses, which I don't even want to have that enter in my mind, but it's a slight possibility. I'm going to say slight. But still, I know that organizing is going to be the focus. And having people run at the local level is going to be my focus, no matter what I call this podcast.
Can you get the map of where he is, and maybe one podcast tell people what to do in each state?
That's a good idea. Yes, because I don't have a guest for. Oh, I do have a guest for next week. But if there have been like the last 4 weeks where people haven't shown up and not have emailed me, I don't know what happened. But yeah, I can do that. Be like, hey, if you live in this state, you could do this. But for the campaign to get on as many ballots as it did, with the few resources that it had, that's a major accomplishment.
It's true.
With 1.8, didn't hire people to gather petitions, didn't have a campaign like they probably wanted to run, the fact that they're on those many ballots, on the ballot, it's just
Can I ask you another
stuff.
thing?
Yes.
What do you say to Cornel supporters who go over to Green and for the reason that they think the Green Party has a better chance? What do we say to them?
Okay, so Jill Stein gonna get 1% of the vote. I wish y'all stop this mess. Look at here, the woman that ran for president 18,425 times. Can we be for real? I'm gonna keep mine real because I'm gonna answer that question the way you want to. Look
Okay.
again, my joke aside, look again at the policies. The Green Party
she's put a lot of good policies out, but pretty much following.
She put them out now, and that's why I'm glad you said that. She's put them out now. I want you all to remember that the Green Party recruited Dr. West to run as a Green Party candidate. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. And as much as Jill Stein wants to keep putting Dr. West's name on her mouth, I don't know why she does that, because that's probably your greatest ally and you don't even realize it. I would say come back. You know who they recruited him. They didn't recruit him because he's some lazy slob that doesn't know what he's talking about. No, it was based off of his fact that he stands flat-footed on his opinions. If he believes something, he believes it. He doesn't change for anybody. Now, is he perfect? No, he is not. Absolutely not. But for the people that left, I wonder, were they in it for him in the first place? Because I've heard the reason some people have left, and I'm like, that's petty. To me, that's petty. She has a better chance. Who says she has a better chance? A poll? You can't trust polls. I don't get it. Nobody, I'm pretty sure nobody's ever called you to ask you who you're voting for. Nobody's ever called me. Nobody, like, who are you calling? Where are you getting this research from? So, I would just say, were you really with the campaign? Or are you really with the Green Party? Because the Green Party has problems. Don't get it twisted. You know them. I'm not going to go over them because I'm not here to bash. I'm not here to bash the Green Party because I realize some of them do watch this podcast. But when Dr. West left, he didn't leave in part. Well, he did say in part he left because she couldn't be trusted. But he knew he had to stand for what he believed in. And I think that's the important thing. If you stand for what you believe in, ultimately you're a winner.
I trust Dr. West, and I don't completely trust Jill Stein.
And I was gonna say that, but it
sounded a good running mate, though. But
she chose an excellent running mate. And I'm like, anything, girl, I'll give you. You did choose a good running mate. But Dr. West chose a better one. Ha 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 ha. See how I do that?
That's true.
But I just wait a minute. The problem is that the Greens are running the candidacy, not Jill Stein. She's just putting a face and a name to the party. Cornel West stands for the people. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nelson. See, we always need Nelson to kind of like bring me back in, because I'm more likely, just like I said, sometimes I just go off of pure emotions. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is.
He starts with the people. That's where he comes from.
He stands and he starts with and he finishes with the people.
Yeah.
And that's what's important.
And if you look at his platforms, if you look at how he speaks about each one of the issues, the global justice, racial justice, the immigrant justice, it comes from his heart. He's thought about these issues and how to help people. It's true.
Absolutely.
And I don't believe that Jill Stein. I think she's kind of opportunist. She's seeing how things are going, and she's taking on some of the same policies because she knows that's what people are looking for. But
yeah, because I'm like, well, somebody's like, well, she's got 25. I'm like, yeah, but she came after. See, I don't like. one thing I won't do is argue with people about me supporting Dr. West over Dr. Stein, because basically, no, I don't go there. If you want to vote for it, do you, boo, because I'm going to do me and vote for Dr. Cornel West. That's just period, point blank. I'm not voting for anybody else. I'm considering voting for. Um, but ideally, would she be a better president than Kamala? Probably. But do I fully believe that? No.
Thank
I
you.
absolutely know that Dr. West would be the best better than FDR, better than JFK, better than anybody else you could put, because he actually cares. And there's a difference between somebody that has been on the same platform for 40 years as opposed to using their whole, well, I'll get into that when we get off the air. But a lot of borrowed ideas, I know where they came from. I'm going to stick with the originator of the platform and just make my choice that way.
You got you. That's true. Thank you.
And so, and I know I haven't done everything that I should. I could have petitioned more. Of course, I had that foot swelling thing going on. Don't
You were
have
out
to.
there gathering those signatures. Oh my god.
Not the way I should have. Not the way I should have. And I really regret that. Because I felt like, not that it would have made an overall difference, but to me, I felt like this podcast is basically all I wanted to do. I'm like, I'm just going to do the podcast and that's going to be it. Nope, that's not kind of how it worked. It worked out a little different than I thought. Did I think we'd be doing a potential justice for all party in Indiana? No, I did not. I never would have, in 2 million years, would have guessed it. But life happens, and we have to be prepared to make choices that will better us.
You're right.
And when we say vote against the duopoly, we mean at all levels. Stop voting for them for president. Stop voting for them for senators. Stop voting for them for governors, mayors, city council. Get rid of them. They
Yeah.
are hapless, sapless, and spineless. They
Thank
don't care. If you don't have dollars behind you, they're not going to listen to you. And also realize this: most legislators do not write laws. Lobbyists write them.
and
Lobbyists are writing laws in Congress.
and
Your
lobbyists
congresspersons are not.
are diluting laws. They yeah. So you got to really pay attention. And this is one thing I've realized that you have to pay attention locally, state, and federally. You've got to pay attention to what
So, and as I said
is
to someone
happening.
who said, "Well, if Cornel gets in, he won't have power." Of course he will, because he'll use this thing that all presidents have but have never used. It's called the bully pulpit.
Yeah.
See, what happens is you say what you want, and then when Congress acts like an altogether fool, you take that bully pulpit and you start traveling America, and then you build up support, and then you have those people called their cock. See, that's the way the bully pulpits work. Now, I don't know if
Exactly.
Kamala or Trump knows what that word is, but that's what a president has. That Congress, they have it, but nobody cares if my congressperson holds a conference, who cares? If a president of the United States holds a press conference, somebody's going to cover it.
And
Period.
he's going to be depending on us to also be out there and be active. And that's something that either party doesn't. They just come to their voters when they need them. Then they go to serving their donors, their billionaires, and their lobbyists and PACs. But we would have to be involved. We couldn't just like stop.
Yeah, and we won't stop.
Cornel
And so, as much as I felt, like I said again, as much as I thought, you know what, just pack this show up and just say you did it, and just pat yourself on the back for a job well done. That's not going to happen.
I'm so glad you're going to be continuing it. I was worried about.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I'm like, well, what can I do to keep it going? And then people just kept saying, yeah, you can actually going to keep going. Well, okay. But I didn't know where to go. And now I know where to go, like in terms of the focus.
Yeah.
So And like I said, I'll talk about this more when I don't have a guest, and it'll just be me talking to y'all about what I want this show to be and become. Um, because if we don't stop the two party, well, the uniparty, that's what I'll call them, the uniparty or the demopubs, um, we're gonna be most creatures most miserable.
Mm-hmm.
It's already terrible. It's gonna get worse. I don't care
It
if
is.
Kamala gets elected. I don't care if Trump gets elected. You're screwed either way. And that's what I want people to know. You don't have to be screwed over. You can vote for Cornel West, period.
There was
Except
this.
for
Sorry.
except for in Arkansas. Can't vote for him in Arkansas. They don't allow write-ins. But um, you can do it. Don't be
Yeah.
fooled by the media that says you only have two choices. No, there are literally 100 people running for Congress.
It
For
just.
president. You can vote for Cornel West.
Yeah. It just takes like standing up. I think about this illustration I saw where there was people were there with a board on their back and and the oligarchs standing on them, and they just stood up and they fell off. so so
And your
that's
vote
what
is
we need to do.
secret. Nobody's gonna know that you voted for Cornel West. You get to now. I'm telling you, I'm voting for Cornel
I'm
West.
telling everybody.
But I'm just saying to those people that are just
Yeah.
like still on the fence, which how can you be on the fence at this point? But we're
Or
on the
they're just
fence.
worried about their friends or whatever.
Yeah, your friends have got just be like, I voted today. Well, who'd you
Yeah.
vote for? The person I thought was best, which is Dr. Cornel West. So, tell
Okay.
Jose I may need him to come on next week because I don't know. My guests have not been sure. I don't know what's going on. We're in this
I think
spell.
he owes you one too.
Yeah, he does too. Because I'm like, well, but
we by the way, we went to a protest at a place called Indian Island Naval Magazine. It's the largest arms munition area on the west coast. It's where a lot of ships are being filled up daily and sent out to the Pacific. The guy, the teacher of I can't. I'm trying to think of the name of the activist that was shot in the head by the Israeli sniper. Um, uh, he was there, and he did a direct action where he went up to there while they were telling him he would be arrested, and we just kind of supported him. But it was great to be with people who, and cars were honking and trying to give us support. I mean, it was really great to do that.
yeah. So everybody out there watching, Tobias and Nelson and Jason um and all the rest of you, I'm trying to go through the names to see who else I've been missing that's been commenting. Kiko and Rude by Way MC, thank you for watching.
Wow,
Thank you so much again. Um,
thank you.
this is why Cornel West said for us to stand up straight because no one can ride your back when you are straight. That is
That
absolutely
is
correct.
true.
That is absolutely true. And I think I thought of a name for the podcast iteration, but I'm not going to reveal it. I'll make y'all watch next week. But
Wait. Okay, okay, go ahead. So
no,
next week is your solo show where you're going to
I
be.
don't know. I'm saying ask Jose to be on standby because I have a guest scheduled for next week, but with the way that my guests have not shown up again, I don't know why y'all do that. Yeah, I'm gonna be on y'all. We supposed to be Cornel West supporters. When you're scheduled, show up, please. Now I know Robin says she forgot.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I got the wrong date. I got the wrong date. I thought it
She
was
had
supposed
to,
to come on Tuesday.
but I usually send notices like if you schedule with me, Nelson and Tobias and Kiko.
Mhm.
Although Kiko has not said who he's voting for. Uh, I usually will send it out Tuesday and then the Saturday of, just to kind of remind you. So, yep, they got it because my guest last week she got hers. So I actually had one guest when I was supposed to have four, but that's okay. I know how to to adjust myself.
You do.
So, but just tell them to be on standby anyway, because yeah, we gonna probably need somebody next week. But remember, I didn't put it in the in the comment section. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button in the comment section. After this show comes on, if you just want to say happy birthday to this podcast, 1 year. I never thought, I thought, oh, I'll do like 2 episodes and I'll just dip out. This has been a year. I'm just still like my mind is blown. I'm like, a year? It's been a year. So if you just want to say happy birthday, please do after the show, because you'll get the comment. Comment in the comment section. Like this podcast. Share it. Share it. I've been on the share challenge for a couple of weeks now. Share this with at least one other person on your social media. If you could do that, we could get the word out. We need to get the word out about this podcast. It's the only podcast that I know of that's dedicated to getting Dr. Cornel West elected as president of the United States. I don't know of another one. I haven't ran across any other podcast for any other candidate. Because this podcast stands alone. We are unique, and we're speaking uniquely to Dr. West supporters. So remember that. We're gonna take.
I'm re-energized. I'm psyched. I'm gonna get out there and put more into it than I have been doing lately.
Yep. So I'm glad I can at least help do that. So I'm gonna take Robin and myself down. We're gonna play our outro. But Robin, I do want you to stay on just a little bit because I got a question for you.
Thank you for the commenters. They were great. Yeah. Really.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Nelson. I'll let you have the last word. Thank you, Robin and Tracy, for a great show tonight. I try to keep every show great. So we're going to play our outro music.